So it's always the first word of every video and every class is so. Wanted to note and update some of the perceptual changes. My theory is that awakening is actually a series of perceptual changes that are in relation to the unfolding of insight and understanding. Changes in how we experience the body, how we experience life and reality. Initially, we may sense that we are this body, we are our thoughts, we are the past, we are what we want for the future, that we are our desires. And that assumption takes a major hit. It comes under complete assault through genuine spiritual inquiry and practice. If enlightenment is this gem, like a diamond, that diamond or that gem has many facets, many aspects to it. And each facet has its own particular characteristic, even if it looks similar to all the other facets. So in awakening, you can get people describing very different things. But saying that they're like describing the same thing in different ways. Well, the facet isn't necessarily the same. The facet isn't necessarily identical. We could also call it awakening, but each particular manifestation or characteristic of awakening is different in its own right. So, for example, the experience of not sensing or not having the perception of time, being completely in timelessness in the sense of eternalness or eternity. That's different than the experience of the loss of the subject object split. You could have both of those, both of these facets, both of these dimensions of awakening happen at the same time, but you could also have them happen separately. So you could experience um, the sense of timelessness, the sense of eternity, while still having the sense of self, the sense of being separate. You can have the subject object split, but still have the sense of time, still have the sense that time is passing. So there's different dimensions, there's different aspects of awakening, and those aspects are characterized by perceptual changes. Over the last few days, I've been doing breathing practices. I highly recommend them. The 8 key. I did a breathwork challenge with Reverend Jody Curtis, who previously was at the Mental Physics Institute, teaching there for many years. Now she does classes online, and I'll be joining her Wednesday group classes because doing the 8 key breaths with the group is always fun, and the group energy really helps with the getting into that zone of collective breath work. It's really cool. So that's one new thing. The power of 8 intention, healing intention that has been added for the last 15 minutes of the loving kindness and compassion class. Of course, already Twilight Zone sci-fi stuff, even before we did the first session was already very interesting. We had one of our so how we formulated the structure was there's 8 or however many people in this intention circle, and there's a recipient of the healing intention or of the manifesting intention, and that person I had to pick randomly. So I put everyone's names from that class in a bowl and shuffled up the bowl. One of the names that fell out while I was shuffling it, I just put the name back in, pulled the name of one of the students, and he actually, when I asked him and I told him, hey, you're the recipient for this week's healing, he actually said, I wanna do the healing intention for this person. I want her to be the recipient. And that exact person was the person that had fallen in the bowl. And the picture was taken and this person's name was in the bowl. I didn't even see it. I just took a picture to show everyone. And right there you could see her name in the picture I sent to the group chat. Didn't even see it. So really unusual stuff already happening, and more than that. But all of you that want to join that class or join the group chat, you can just email me or message me on Instagram or through the website. More intenders, the better. The group that has been sitting every Sunday, we're very tight-knit group in the sense that we've been sitting together for a year at this point. For both of my classes, actually, Saturday and Sunday classes, we've all been sitting for a year together. So that initial group of people is very established. We're all very familiar with each other. We know each other really well. So we have that bond that makes this particular intention quite powerful. So there's that. But of course, people to come into the class and participate is always welcome. So doing these long pauses now to just allow whatever comes up to come up. Noticeable perceptual change as of recent, the sense that everything is the body. So not that this is the body, but that reality is the body. The reality body is how it is perceived. So initially in earlier stages, I mean before awakening, you have the sense that the body belongs to you, that this is my body. Later, that assumption, that notion is dispelled or blown apart through awakening, through insight. But there's still the sense that there's this body, or that this is the body. And before the subject object split dissolves, there's a clear sense that this is the body and this is everything else. So you can have the sense that there's no difference between you and objects, or that split is dissolved. So there's no subject and object anymore, no inner and outer. But the experience that the entire field of perceptions, the entire field of phenomena, even thought, that all of this is the body. You know, if you were to ask me, how do you describe that from the sense that everything is the mind, or the whole, all is mind, all is the manifestation of mind teaching or experience? I'd say that the body literally feels more embodied. You could ask, what is it that feels embodied? There's just this sense of interconnectedness. That's really what it is. It's a sense of interconnectedness. It's a sense the same way that you would feel your hand, you feel that with the trees, you feel that with the water, you feel that with the people around you. It's just more sensate, it's more embodied. That's the only way that I could describe it in comparison to seeing everything as a manifestation of mind, or everything as mind itself, as presence. Um, I'm actually really describing the same thing, because the mind body split, that's dissolved as well. Mind is body, body is mind. Just like form is emptiness, emptiness is form. But the embodied side of this that I'm describing is more of a sense of interconnectedness. It's more, the only way I can describe it is more sensate. It's almost as if realization goes through, awakening goes through a process, like it descends into your head or something, metaphorically. So you experience it here and everything's mind. And then there's a sense of also coming into the heart and divine love being prominent, a prominent theme and a prominent experience. And then it comes into the gut, as if it comes into the gut, and then life, you become, or you realize that you are life, that life is all that is, reality is all that is. Many masters refer to their true body or their real body in the Dhammakaya teachings of Theravada Buddhism. This is referring to an actual enlightenment body in the nirvana, ayatana nirvana, nirvana as dimension. And Dhammakaya talks a great deal about this. But in Zen and other the other Buddhist traditions, Dharmakaya is referred to as like the reality body, the truth body. That the nature of mind, which pervades the entirety of samsara, the entirety of existence, and of nirvana, of the end of suffering, all of that is Dharmakaya. All of that is original mind. But kaya means body. So this mind body dichotomy is actually absolved. It's something that depends on our perception. In the earlier phases, like let's say at the beginning of the 100 days when the subject object split collapsed, there's this clear sense that everything you're touching is mind. Everything you're touching is awareness. Everything you're seeing is awareness. Everything is the display of mind, but mind can't be found. This is certainly still the case, but that everything is the body, that everything is a body, the reality body. I'd say the main difference is that instead of having the sense that everything you're touching is awareness or is mind, you're having the sense that there only is everything, and that sense of the body being this is extended to the entirety of reality. Earlier, it's this sense that the mind is extended to the entirety of the field of perception of reality, but this is the body. And maybe I'm not describing this really well, but it's probably because it's not all completely clear when it comes to words yet. I'm still trying to find ways to describe this as it unfolds and as it changes. So the difference between seeing and experiencing everything as mind and seeing and experiencing everything as the body is purely the sense of embodiment. I wouldn't say it's a sense of inhabiting, because that's not the case. I don't have the sense that I'm inhabiting my arm, but I do have the sense that this is the arm. And it's just like that. The sense of the body is now overlaid onto reality, onto the entire field of experience. It's just so interesting. So that's a new perceptual change. So we'll see how that unfolds. All right. Thanks for watching.